This is one of the simplest things I do when I'm out there, something that most people just don't do, and this gets me a lot of good stuff. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to talk about something that I do every single place I go that just doesn't seem to be done by most other people. Now, I was out running an errand, going to the grocery store, picking up some groceries, and I stopped at a sale that was on the way. I wouldn't have stopped. I hadn't been anywhere in a while. I had a mask with me, the whole works. And this book was sitting on a table out there. Now, this is Shandu the Magician. This is in 1935. It's basically a big little book. It's worth about 15 or 20 bucks. No big deal. The thing about this is it's magic related. He's a magician. Now, this piqued my interest. Now, the sale had been going on for several days. This was the last day that the sale was going to be running. So I didn't expect much at all. Now, the one thing that I always do is I asked. I asked if she had anything else related to this or anything else there that maybe they were interested in selling. Now, I was probably the very last person there, but I was the first person to ask the lady if she had anything else. Now, lucky for me, she did have something else in the house. It was mostly photos and stuff. Some of her family members were in the photos. She didn't think much of them. To her, it's just some old photos. Well, the photos turned out that they were tied to magicians. There's all kinds of vintage photos. Many of them are autographed. Doug Henning, David Copperfield, Blackstone. There's Siegfried and Roy photos and stuff. There's all kinds of candid images. But the key thing here is wherever I go, I ask. I don't care if I don't see anything related to what I am interested in. I always ask. You never know what's going to come up, what they may have. Records is a big one too. When I'm out there sourcing, even if they don't have records out, most of the time when I ask, they say, oh, I didn't even think about selling records. I didn't think anybody would want them. Now, I hear that all the time because of MP3s, modern day technology. A lot of people just don't think that there's a big value in records anymore. They think they're dead material, just like cassette tapes, 8 tracks, and the whole works. So many times when I ask, I get records out of it, good records, just huge collections that were in their house that everybody else going to the very same place didn't think to ask and didn't get a chance to see. So I usually can walk off with some good stuff when that happens, and they do have something in here. This is just another prime example. The only thing I had to do was just open my mouth. Far too many people are nervous, or they're just running in, get out, they don't see it, they assume there's nothing else, and they leave. I see that all the time. Even sometimes with like estate sales. Many times an estate sale may put more stuff out the second and third day to get people wanting to come back, so it's not just a one-time browse or all the good stuff's gone on the very first day and no one else wants to buy anything. I see that a lot. Now, I never worry truthfully about what day I go. Usually you'll get better stuff the first day, but even the second and third day I can find good stuff. A lot of the stuff that I sell, people don't see a value in, so that's why it doesn't matter as much. So that's why it's not as important to me if I do that. I'm not one to fight. I'm not going to sit there and wait for hours ahead of time. There's so many places to go and source that me wasting my time trying to get in line or something or get a number just isn't practical for the most part. I go straight to the source. This just happens to be one of those rare occasions where there was one on the way to the grocery store. I haven't seen a sale around here in forever. Something interesting, something fun to do. So let's take a look at a few of the items I got. Now, let's just look at a few items here. I got about 25 pounds worth of this stuff, honestly. It was just in a box. I bought everything they had. There's pamphlets, photos, and all sorts of things. Now, this is of a street performance of a guy in a straitjacket hanging from downtown city buildings. I'm going to have to figure out who these are, of course. I'll have to ID some of them. That's Blackstone. If you know who Blackstone is, he's very, very well known. I believe that's Junior. Yeah, he's even got the names on the back, and I don't know who the other guy is, but there's a lot of this stuff in there. All of these individual photos, like this straitjacket one, I could get 35 bucks, 40 bucks for these lot of 4 individual small photos. A candid photo of Blackstone, 10, 15 bucks. All of these individual ones, one say ID. Some of them have names and stuff on the back. Peter the Near Great, some of them are advertising ones. That's a very young David Copperfield. I would guess maybe before he was even well known or had any of his TV performances, because, man, he looks really young. It almost looks like it's dated 1980, so I could probably track this one down. They're both magicians, this guy too. This came from a family member of a magician, a local magician who was on TV here and in Chicago and stuff. I talked to the family for a little while. Floating head, cut off head, basically trying to show it. More magic tricks, another decapitation, a guillotine. Looks like a soldier, maybe an army base. Advertising ones, promo ones. This gentleman is eating or pulling out razor blades from inside of his mouth. There's actually a wizard. I mean, believe it or not, a true full-fledged wizard doing some kind of balloon trick. Again, most of these I'll get $8-10 a piece for. I do extremely well with this sort of thing. Look at this clown on this one. That clown is incredible. Very creepy for sure. Some kind of amusement park. Very nice one there. More razor blades, same person. Now this is Lance Burton, which he was very well known. I'm pretty sure that's who that is. There's actually a picture of his sign. I guess Las Vegas, I would imagine. World champion magician. This person who I got these from knew all these people personally. This is him at dinner with this guy here. Siegfried and Roy. This is him again. There's probably that Lance again there. Siegfried and Roy eating dinner with them, from what I understand. They all went to dinner together. He was signing autographs for people there. There's also negatives. I got a bunch of negatives of people doing magic tricks. I'll be able to scan those and invert them so I can sell them very easily. Some magic. This one's actually a comic book advertising tricks. Abbott's Magic Manufacturing is a huge place. I've heard of that. I've had things from there before. 8x10s, autographed 8x10s, the Spencer, Theater of Illusion, lots of 8x10s actually, but these I'll get 10, 15, 20 bucks or more for every single one of these. These go back to the 1920s, magic tricks with cards. Card ones do extremely well. Juggler. Some of these are kind of cliche, kind of gaudy, just not what you would see these days. This is all 80s. I would say. The Berlin Brothers. Now this one, those two almost look like ones that were in the movie Octopussy with the James Bond movie. There's a set of twins that do tricks and stuff. I don't know if that's them or not, but that sure looks like them. I'll have to look that one up. But there's a lot of good photos. Again, 10, 15 bucks minimum for any of these. Rebecca Yen. Boy, that's kind of out there, boy, the costume and stuff. Almost looks like a Gene Simmons impersonator to me, but anyway, rather interesting images either way you go. Now, I got all of these because I did something no one else did, which was ask. Now, I probably have $1,000 worth of this stuff here, of autographs and all kinds of things like this here. I got 50 bucks into it. I just threw a number out there. I didn't even look through it. I just threw a number once I started to see what was in there. I bought the entire box as she pulled it out. Autographed as well. Early ones. This gentleman looks very young. Now, there's a bunch of these in here, too. Now, these I'm going to look up individually. This is actually a brochure for the Abbott's Girl Cabinet and Tabaret Illusion. I'm not sure what that is. I guess she disappears. Lots of good details on this. Sawing a woman in half one. I don't even know that one either. These things I've sold for 75 bucks or better in the past. Maybe not this specific one, but I've sold brochures like this for that kind of money. Now this guy pretends he's Mandarin, a Chinese gentleman, but he's not. He does it for his skit, which nowadays I don't think would be proper. But anyway, interesting ones. Again, these are the type of things I love finding. Nice early David Copperfield too. Way past the other photo we just saw to me. Nice stuff in here. Now some of these go way back, as I said, to the 1920s, like this one here. This one's a nice one here. Let me zoom in on this one here so you can see the gentleman. Nice and early photo. This is an original 8x10. Very, very nice. They're drinking Cokes, a couple of them, too, so it's a really nice image there. This one's marked on who they are on the back, including the dog's name is Andre. Rather interesting. Another nice one here. Let me zoom in on this one just for a second here. Really, really nice, interesting ones. These 75 bucks or better I could get on them. Maybe 125, just because this kind of stuff from that time frame doesn't show up very often. Harry Blackstone Sr., his stuff does fairly well. 20, 25 bucks possibly. Bob Hamlin. Now this guy's a little out there, but his stuff is extremely scarce. Max Maven. He was a psychic, a mind reader and stuff, he claimed to be. It's his autograph. That's a real autograph on there too. So this should do extremely well. Advertising piece. Another one. Now this looks like it's a label. And I got like 8 or 10 of these of different types. And was glued onto something. All these fine quality, you can see how reflective it is. Almost every time I find one that looks like this type of quality with a name and stuff like this, it's a label off of a magic item of some sort. Something probably elaborate, big, the whole works on these ones. This could get me 45 bucks. Magic Tricks, a little booklet here with real ones. And this is an advertisement from Oakite Cleaning Supplies. So this is a promo advertisement. 35 bucks possibly even. J. Marshall, this is autographed too. Just some nice, interesting ones. Now, this is a handbill. This would have been tacked up on somewhere as an advertisement. Loyola Community Theater, Gwyn, Master of Magic, International Brotherhood of Magicians, rather interesting. World Tour, Carter the Great, probably from the 20s or 30s. I'm sure there's a date, I would imagine. Look at the artwork on this. That's the type of stuff you'd see a big monster-sized poster like at a circus or something of that exact same thing. I've seen a full-color version of this. He's very, very well known. The world's weird, wonderful wizard. He does a lot of oddball stuff. He's got a striking look. The ball would float in his hand and stuff. I've run across a ton. I've had probably hundreds and hundreds of magic-related items that I've sold. At one time, we bought out like the leftovers from a magic shop, and I had like 4,000 little tiny gags and tricks and whoopee cushion type of things. We sold them all. Every single one of them sold. The Great Lester, signed Doug Henning. It's all possible in the world of magic. South Park made fun of him, I think it was. Just a few others. Again, I got a whole bunch of this stuff. I got these because I did something else that no one else did, which was ask. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gives you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
If you love almonds,
Almonds? Yeah.
really love almonds,
I do.
I do.
I do.
you'll love the Mars Almond Bar. So many almonds, you get an almond in every bite.
An almond in every bite. Right. Yeah.
Plus real milk chocolate. So get an almond in every bite. Mars Almond Bar. And now Mars Sprint Bar and Mars Crunchy Chocolate Bar. The best chocolate on earth comes from Mars.